This park is unique. It's the only town in the state of Connecticut back in the 70s. They sort of redlined and brought an interstate right through the middle of all this recreational space. So we've got this on-ramp and off-ramp for 384 up here that separates the park in half. But through strong negotiation back in the 70s, we were able to work with the state to create connections to both sides of the park. So today we're celebrating the opening of this side of the park, which we call or refer to as the Oak, and its sister park connected through the underpass is Charter Oak Park, and we're activating both sides to celebrate this awesome achievement today.
I've grown up in and around Manchester throughout my life. I used to skate at the Robertson Skatepark that was demolished about 7 years ago now. At that time, a group of us got together and went to the board of directors to urge that a new skate park be built here in Manchester. We needed it because, it's important to have a place for skaters and riders to come and have a safe place that's functional for them to, do their sport and, build a community. I mean, the town was open with us the whole time. Right from the get, we kind of did things backwards, our group. We kind of jumped when the old skate park got torn down to, went right to the board of directors directly, which usually isn't the way you would do that, but that's what we did. And at that point, we got such a, big following for it that we had a lot of people with us at that first meeting. So, the mayor was very impressed with that. The board of directors were impressed. So they greenlit our efforts at that point to start a committee with Chris Silver from the Parks Department to start looking into a new park. At that point, Chris had already had in the works going with American Ram Company, with ARC, for implementing the new park, coming up with the design, all that stuff. So we stayed on point pretty much throughout the whole process with Chris to, come up with a place where it should be built, design what it should incorporate, how big it should be, all those things. So it was pretty awesome, very inclusive. And ARC, came out a couple times throughout the past few years to help us out as well, look at the site, get together with all the skaters and the young people in town to kind of see what they would want in their park. So that was pretty awesome, pretty productive.
We love the creative side, we love the marketing piece and the design aspects of it. The committee really were really instrumental in the influence of the design. You guys were great to work many different sessions and come up with a few iterations until everyone was happy. And as a result, it has culminated into what you see today, the Oak. When people come off 384 into our community, this is the artery right into downtown off the highway. So when you come off that off-ramp and you come downtown, the first thing you're going to see is this amazing park, the amazing, I like to think of it as a piece of artwork with the signage for the Oak. And we wanted to build something very dramatic and large enough to have a regional draw, because we knew it would have a positive effect on our downtown economy and contribute to that. Every space we build now, we make sure that there's a creative element to it. We don't build your standard parks. We want color, we want vibrancy, we want uniqueness. You'll see that in some of the elements in this park and even in our other parks. You know, we're incorporating art and creative minds into our planning and building.
I would say that, you know, for any other towns or kids that are looking to get a skate park built in their town, the best thing they can do is, just like when you're skating or biking, you know, you're doing a trick, just, you know, you keep doing it until you get it. And that's the same idea with this. You know, you go to your town, you go to the people that matter in your town, you tell them what you want, you give them all the facts that they need, and you just stick with it. Don't give up, and you'll be able to get what you want in the end. You just gotta, don't give up. That's exactly what we did here, and that's how we ended up with this.
Having a place to come, you know, if you're a young person, you would know the importance of public services and recreational spaces and places and having access to them. Some people need them more than others, and there are many people here that need those spaces, but they contribute to sort of their foundational experiences in recreation and leisure, and they get exposed to what this town is offering them. So long term, we're looking at people growing up happy and connected and having access to leisure and recreation. And in the long run, they'll want to stay here and they'll want to raise their kids here, because we're invested and committed to creating these spaces and places for families so people can connect to them, be healthy, live happier lives, and thrive in Manchester.